Every day, organizations are required to make important decisions. Which suppliers should be selected? Which projects should be prioritized? Which technology offers the best value? These decisions are rarely simple. They often involve multiple criteria, competing priorities, and large amounts of information. Spreadsheets may help with the calculations, but the process can still be time-consuming, prone to error, and difficult to explain to stakeholders. So, we asked a simple question. What if complex decisions could be made in a more structured, transparent, and explainable way? That question led us to develop DIIID AHP. DIIID AHP is a digital decision support platform designed to make complex decision-making easier to manage and justify. Instead of requiring users to build complicated formulas or manage multiple spreadsheets, DIIID AHP guides them through 4 clear steps. First, define the decision goal, criteria, and available alternatives. Second, determine which criteria are more important. Third, evaluate each available option. And finally, review the recommendation together with a clear explanation of how the results was produced. Let us look at how the platform works. In this example, an organization needs to select the most suitable ERP system. We begin by entering the decision objective. Next, we identify the factors that matter, such as cost, security, scalability, user experience, and technical support. Finally, we add the available alternatives. There is no coding and no need to create formulas manually. The platform guides the user through the entire setup. Next, the user compares the importance of each criterion. For example, is security more important than cost? Is scalability more important than user experience? Users can complete this comparison through a simple slider interface or switch to the full comparison matrix for a more detailed assessment. However, DIIID AHP does more than simply record the answers. The system continuously checks whether the user's judgments are logically consistent. If an inconsistency is detected, the consistency ratio indicator immediately alerts the user, allowing the comparisons to be reviewed before proceeding. This helps reduce accidental bias and improves confidence in the final outcome. Different users may require different levels of analytical detail. For users who need a faster and simpler assessment, DIIID AHP provides a quick rating mode. For analysts, researchers, and professional evaluators, the pairwise comparison mode provides a more rigorous evaluation process. This flexibility allows the platform to remain accessible to beginners while supporting more advanced users. Once the evaluation is complete, DIIID AHP combines all the inputs and produces the final ranking. But the platform does not simply announce a winner. It explains why one alternative performed better than another. Users can see the weighting of each criterion, the contribution of each factor, the score achieved by each alternative, and the consistency of the judgments provided. This makes the recommendation transparent, auditable, and easier to justify to management and other stakeholders. What makes DIIID AHP different is not simply the automation of calculation. Its innovation lies in transforming a traditionally technical and spreadsheet-heavy process into a guided, accessible, and explainable digital experience. Behind the platform is the Analytic Hierarchy Process, or AHP, a recognized multi-criteria decision-making methodology developed by Professor Thomas L. Saaty. AHP structures a decision into goals, criteria, and alternatives before using pairwise comparisons to calculate priorities and assess judgment consistency. DIIID AHP modernizes this established methodology by automating the calculations, validating consistency in real time, and presenting the results through an intuitive dashboard. We are not replacing the academic method. We are making it easier to apply. DIIID AHP is currently under active development, with a functional end-to-end prototype already completed. The platform is also progressing through early pilot and user validation activities with selected departments to gather feedback on usability, workflow, and reporting requirements. At this stage, no formal intellectual property registration has been completed. Protection of the software components, system design, and branding will be considered as the platform progresses towards wider implementation. As an emerging innovation, DIIID AHP has not received any awards to date. However, this competition provides an important opportunity to validate the solution and support its next stage of development. The potential contribution of DIIID AHP extends across multiple sectors. Government agencies can use it to prioritize development programs and evaluate proposals. Businesses can compare suppliers, investments, and technologies. Universities can use it for teaching and research. Project teams can evaluate competing initiatives, locations, or implementation strategies. Because users can define their own goals, criteria, and alternatives, the same platform can support many different types of decisions without rebuilding the system for every use case. This gives DIIID AHP a strong potential for wider adoption across both public and private sectors. Through DIIID AHP, we aim to transform complex choices into structured and explainable decisions. Because better decisions should not depend on opinions alone, they should be supported by evidence. Thank you.